Hey everyone, Barantos here. So I want to do a quick video of final thoughts on the Walther PDP because I am actually going to be selling this gun. I'm not going to keep it. Just not a fan of it. It's got some good points to it, don't get me wrong. I feel like the grip texture is great. It's a good grip texture on there. Triggers on these, everyone raves about it. It's amazing. The slide texture, and I mean, I haven't used the optics plate because I don't have optics or anything. I'm sure it runs for great. Slide texture is pretty good. It's got some nice cutouts here if you want to do press checks and things like that. It holds 18 rounds. It's got a fuller grip than my PPQ. Overall, though, so I did put excess big dots on here. I didn't like the default sights. Overall, though, what you're getting here, it's hard for me as a fan of Glocks, because with me, what's important is what's the recoil impulse like? Are the mags plentiful or reasonable? Can you feed it, basically, as well as do you enjoy shooting it? The recoil impulse on this thing is miserable. Just like the PPQ, the recoil impulse is pretty miserable. I wish Walther would do something about how high the bore axis is on this because it's pretty high. That's the only thing I can say. With this, I got a pretty good deal on it when I bought it, which is the only reason I did. The only reason I could consider I would think someone would buy this would be like if you absolutely need to have this like ridiculous trigger. I've never had an issue shooting well with even Glock triggers, like factory ones. I've never had an issue with it. I mean, it's a trigger, it pulls. It's better than a CZ double action. Any of these striker guns blow that stuff out of the water, or any of those cruddy double action pulls. So the striker's always going to be better than that. So unless you need this crazy trigger and you can't afford a 1911/2011, then maybe the Walther PDP is for you. Unfortunately for me, I'm more than happy with my Shadow Systems DR920. Way happier with the Glock recoil impulse or the Glock style recoil impulse, as well as, these mags for the Walther PDP are hard to find, and I want to say they're about $48 to $55 depending on where you get them. So yeah, that's kind of rough, like when I can get Glock mags for 20 or less, I can get Magpul P mags for my Glock stuff, which have been running perfectly for less than $10 even. So the Walther PDP to me, I don't think it makes sense if you can shoot a Glock reasonably well or a Glock style pistol because they're around the same price range. And I think that's one of the things that you'll hear me reiterate on other videos is anything below that 1500 mark, pretty much, I recommend some type of Glock or Glock clone with things. The recoil impulse is pleasant. The only exception, I haven't had a chance to ever shoot one, but an Archon Type B has always piqued my interest. I'm sure those are flat shooting guns. Everyone swears by them. I'm sure it's hard to find mags though for those, so I wouldn't recommend that. But I mean, if you got a bunch of mags and you got an Archon and you like it, stick with it. I'm sure it's a great pistol. If you're thinking of getting this Walther PDP, really consider it. Like, if you don't like, if there's not a toss-up, like this is the only pistol that you feel fits your hand, as well as the only trigger that you can pull effectively somehow, then get the Walther. But if those things aren't true, and you can effectively pull a Glock trigger or some type of Glock clone, Glock item fits you well, then buy that. They're around the same price point. There's nothing that this pistol will be able to do that the Glock one probably won't be able to do, like accuracy-wise or performance-wise. So, I mean, I get that. Walther definitely brought out their marketing team and was hammering YouTube with videos of this gun, before it was even released. I get it. You had some good ideas here. Unfortunately, just because of the way that the system is built with the high bore axis, as well as, Walther, why don't try to fit the American market, honestly. Go back to the paddle mag release, because that I love that on my PPQ M1. The paddle release is where it's at, that would be another drawing point. Unfortunately, this has a push button and a giant ledge on the other side, just in case you need to switch things. So yeah, I don't recommend this pistol unless it's your last resort. Maybe if you have, if your wife or somebody else has a Walther and they already have 20 mags, get this. But or your husband already has a Walther and 20 mags, get this. But if you're not, and this might be your first carry gun, I can't recommend a Walther PDP. Start off with a Glock or a Glock clone. Hate me all you want in the comments, but unfortunately, the recoil impulse, I know some people want to say like, oh, I'm a man, like I don't port my guns and I shoot full recoil, and I shoot, 40 Smith & Wesson hot loads somehow, or plus P plus or anything like that. Not me. I want the gun that recoils the least, but has a round effective for what I'm trying to do. So it's going to be a Glock clone until you get into, like the crazy money, your 2,000 plus staccatos, maybe a Springfield Prodigy if they get the items worked out on it. But like, 1911, 2011 is probably where I consider the top on things. That's another thing with this. I'm wondering like how people feel carrying it with the way the trigger is. So, this trigger breaks so easy that, I'd be a little nervous. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous that carrying this pistol might, you're more likely to have a negligent with that. Maybe I'm wrong, but, it just seems to me like if you make the trigger too easy to pull and you don't put some type of safety on things, that you're just kind of rolling those dice each time. So, unfortunately, I'm probably done filming with the Walther PDP because I'm going to look to get rid of this shortly. I hope you enjoyed the videos on it. I hope I could give, some type of knowledge or some type of opinion that you haven't gotten with the other videos. But yeah, I don't recommend this gun unless it's the only thing you have in your possession and it's the only thing that you can effectively use. All right, everyone, take care.